If you believe the authorities, they betrayed the Ukrainian state. But if you believe their lawyers, they were just doing their job. Ukraine has pressed charges against 3 men accused of doing media work for Russia and its proxies in Ukraine's occupied Donbas region. 2 of the men were found guilty of terrorism charges and sentenced to 9 years in prison. The other is still awaiting trial. Since 2014, 173 people have been charged with terrorism in Ukraine. Let's have a look at the result of these criminal cases. As we see, 26 of those accused found themselves in prison. However, 125 were freed on probation. 8 accused persons were sentenced to restriction of freedom outside prison, and 2 got suspended sentences. In 7 cases, criminal sentences were overturned, and just 5 of 173 were found not guilty, and I'm being told that this was not at once. However, let's get back to the journalists or alleged journalists case. The Ukrainian Security Service accused Yevhen Timonin and Dmitro Vasilets, who were subsequently found guilty, of traveling to the Donbas in 2014 to help separatist news agency Novorossiya TV set up its site and YouTube channel. But the men's lawyer, Olena Lyshenko, says they had no idea that the site would become Novorossiya TV. She also says that the accusations against them are mostly based upon a post in the constitute social network and publications by an activist group called Mirotvorets. Not enough for the terrorism charge.
It so happened that they were asked to set up this YouTube channel. They went to Donetsk. This was summer 2014. Not many people knew what was going on there. They went there with the aim of finding out what was going on. They went there by train, met with people there. They tried to sort out some kind of server, and that didn't really work out for them. They corresponded back and forth about that they had to stop, that it wasn't working for them. They were there for 4 days and went back. There were no questions from the Ukrainian Security Service. After that, they carried on with their journalistic and civic work for another 9 months. Only after 9 months were they put on the pre-trial investigation register. The body of evidence includes their online communication and screenshots from Timonin's contact page, printouts of correspondence and conversations. First of all, there's nothing there. I've also read it. It's normal IT correspondence. They even mocked the channel somewhere in there. They spoke with various people. Someone called Mihailo invited them to Donetsk. He said that he represented the client. It wasn't clear how this man was connected to Novorossiya TV. There is nothing in the case files on whether he was connected, whether he worked there. That is not clear. He wasn't even questioned. It's like he's some mystery person. No one knows anything. They went there at Mikhailo's request. They arrived and went to sort out this server. All those from Novorossiya, the DPR, they were there, and that means they are guilty. The verdict is solely based on the Mirotvorets website, the contacted correspondence, the screenshots from the website. Nothing that would suggest they are guilty. 9 years is a harsh sentence. This case has changed jurisdictions 3 times. It's been transferred from one court to another. It's not at all clear why the case is being heard in a court in Zhytomyr. They both live in Kyiv. Why the case is being heard in Zhytomyr is a mystery to a lot of people. Now we are preparing an appeal, which needs to be submitted to the Zhytomyr Court of Appeal before October 28. We'll see what happens next.
Hromadske had also spoken with a lawyer of Vasyl Muravitsky, a journalist from Ukraine's Zhytomyr region, who was arrested in August. Muravitsky stands accused of state treason. The security service alleges he wrote custom articles against Ukraine commissioned by people in Russia. But Muravitsky's lawyer, Andriy Gozhy, believes that the case was opened because his client criticized the Ukrainian government. He says Muravitsky signed a contract to write columns on Ukrainian affairs for a Russian media outlet, and that writing articles cannot be considered state sabotage. What's more, Muravitsky does not recognize all the articles the authorities claim he wrote. Most worryingly, Hoji says, the authorities have carried out a linguistic analysis of Muravitsky's articles.
If this person were not in pretrial detention and he wasn't facing 15 years in prison, I think we would laugh about this linguistic analysis, because it sounds like this. They take a phrase from the article credited to Muravitsky and remove it from its context. For example, he writes, quote, "The Shatun operation to destabilize Ukraine is likely a fake because the contents of this Russian Shatun operation appear to be written by a person who is likely Ukrainian-speaking, stupid, and so on," end quote. The expert then says this can be considered manipulating the public consciousness and insulting the dignity of the Ukrainian state. There is no proof that he committed treason because according to the law of Ukraine, you have the right to express your opinion. You can even lie. And if a person is lying, you can't take him to criminal court for that. You can take him to civil court. What is state treason? It is sabotage. And what is sabotage? There should be a concrete violation of the law. For example, helping a foreign intelligence service, stockpiling weapons, harboring saboteurs, cutting cables. That's sabotage. But writing articles, working as a journalist, only our security services could see it that way.
The Committee to Protect Journalists has described Ukrainian law enforcement's actions against the press as politically motivated, particularly in relation to Vasyl Muravitsky. The non-governmental organization sent a letter signed by its executive director, Joel Simon, to President Petro Poroshenko.
We feel compelled to write to express our deep concern about actions taken by Ukraine's State Security Service that pose a significant threat to press freedom in Ukraine. In at least 7 separate incidents documented by the CPJ in the past 2 months, the SBU has targeted newsrooms and journalists on accusations that appear politically motivated and in retaliation for critical reporting.
Muravitsky's trial is still ongoing. Timonin and Vasylets, found guilty for aiding Novorossiya TV, are currently appealing their conviction. If that fails, they plan to take their case to the European Court of Human Rights.